very excited to have you, all of you here in this, our third session around Claude Cowork for marketing teams. This is getting a lot of attention, and we have almost, I think, more than 1,500, close to 2,000 registrations so far in the last 2-3 sessions, with almost 250, 300 plus people joined it. This is a live hands-on kind of a workshop which we are taking. So this is the third session, and my name is Ajay Batra. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Lead Walnut, and I'm going to run through this session in the next, almost an hour. All right. Yeah. So we at Lead Walnut have been using this SEO over the last 10 plus years, working with some of the enterprise clients like Fortinet, eFax, Plushtop in the US. And of course, now SEO, we would call it geo, with a very high focus on conversions, lead generation. So you can find more details on the website, but we are very focused on these areas. Very, very niche market. We go B2B SaaS and tech, right? And we have now transforming from last over 6 months and a year with the team, we are transforming ourselves towards AI native SEO, built a lot of agents, tools, and that's what in the process, Claude Cowork, using those tools to do the full transformation and drive higher value for our clients. And we keep doing surveys to understand the market. Last year, we ran a big survey with CMOs, and again, we are doing this year as well. So we continuously doing that, so we understand the market, what audience are looking at, and then align our deliverables and goals towards that. Okay? What are we going to cover briefly today in this session? As I said, it will be not a PPT session. It's not going to be, I'm not going to bore you much with PPT. We are going to see real life marketing use cases, which I'm going to run some of them in the Claude Cowork and show you, right? While we'll just touch upon to set the context, people who have joined for the first time, why Cowork, Claude Cowork, and while you build agents, now, everybody can do prompting and they say, can run some queries and get some output. But that's where the challenge comes, actually, right? If you do not apply your native experience, knowledge, your assets, your guardrails properly, it's becoming very repetitive output. And AI tools or search engines are becoming very smart to figure it out very quickly. And they don't give you any benefit of that end of the day. So you'll see your rankings are declining, falling, your visibility on LLMs fades very quickly, right? Because of repetitiveness, because there's nothing new there. Everybody's doing the same. You're also trying to do the same thing, right? So that's why this framework we thought we'll touch upon a little bit while we build the tools and the agents. If framework is very important, how do you build those agents or skills? Right, so we'll just touch upon that, and then we have got 3 demos here. Every session we do that, explain and demonstrate. Prompt generator. Second one is content coverage analysis, and demo 3 will be around how do you leverage client meetings to your advantage. We'll see that very innovative way to look at that. And as part of that, we will also run some polls and surveys, questions, and all that to understand, that you're really getting what we are trying to say, and also to get your perspective on some of the things. And finally, we'll do the takeaways and close the session. All right. So let's start with the question. We want to understand how many of you are currently using Claude. So there'll be some poll comes up here. I think we should just go here. A poll will come up here. New poll is here, guys. So please, everybody go there and let's take this first poll. How much of your week does Claude already run? I would like you to take that survey and answer that. Yeah. I hope everybody can see the poll on the right top side. Because I'm not seeing Any answers still?
Also, you have to click on the vote button.
Oh, I have to click on the vote. I'm so sorry. Okay. People have voted now. Great. Excellent. A lot of you are already using it. That's great to know that. And some are quite in the mature stage while others are starting, but that's good. People have started using it. Great. Thank you for sharing your inputs here. Right. Now, see, the Claude Cowork is not a chatbot. I mean, all of us use, now today there's a Perplexity, Claude, the ChatGPT, the Gemini, right? But how effectively are we using that? Are we still prompting? Yes, if you prompt, and smart prompting can take you some to some level. It can give you some output and all that. But there is a limitation there. There's a restriction there. As I said, repetitiveness quickly comes there. Everybody is trying to do through prompting. So that is where the smart Claude Cowork with hands, that's where it is. You can leverage that. Now, what is the benefit of Claude Cowork as compared to other AI, LLMs and the chatbots and the prompting, general prompting? What it does is it read your files, all the files, which others can also do. The main other benefit is it plugs into your stack. Any stack you have, CMS system, Gmail, Ahref, GA4, it plugs into that. So really now you're looking at your real data. There's no hallucination happening here. It is looking at actual, even competition data, right? So that is the most critical part here. You can also access your, as I said, Gmail, Google Drive. If you have any assets there, very important is that we need to, one tip here is that whenever we build agents, we need to utilize our existing assets. That's how it becomes a little bit unique to you and not a very repetitive. And you bring your point of view into any content you build and not just general AI content, right? So we'll talk about it more when we look at the framework. And it can do multiple step flows, right? It can, research, it can write briefs, it can publish for you end to end. It can do that. Multiple steps it can do based on the instructions. It can schedule itself. You can, say every Monday I need some competition insights or some other report. It can continuously delivering it for you. And the very important part is we can build skills or reusable assets or components which every team member can use. That's very, very important part. So that once you build it, a great agent to create the content, every member in the team can start using it to deliver same kind of consistent quality and speed, right? So these are some of the really, critical benefits which separates it from a general, the chatbot or prompting, what generally, we as a marketers do that, right? And there is a toolkit which further helps you to simplify and to accelerate your work. There's a dispatch. This time we are not going to show that. Last two times we showed that, the real example. This means when you are on the go, you can run the reports through mobile. You can just talk on your mobile, and if your laptop is lying at home, or in the office, it will run a report. So by the time you reach office, your report is ready. That's what's called dispatch. We have shown last time. Maybe in the next session we'll again cover that. Schedule is easy to understand, self-explanatory. You can schedule certain reports. You can ask it to deliver every Monday, every day at certain time, certain reports. It will do that.
Ajay? Hello? Sorry to interrupt. I think you got mute.
I don't know how it happened. I'm sorry. Where did you lose me? I'm so sorry.
Just 10 seconds prior to what you were saying.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I was trying to. All right. All right, let's cover this again. Dispatch. Dispatch helps to build reports on the go. While on the go, you can give instructions on the mobile, just by your voice message, and it can keep the report ready on your laptop by the time you reach your destination, and report is ready. So anywhere you can use this. You can sync it with mobile, and so anywhere you can run this report. Schedule is it's very obvious. You can schedule your tasks which you want to see on a weekly basis or a daily basis. Run some report. It will give it in your inbox. Skills, as I said, you can build reusable capabilities, content generation, backlink analysis, brief optimization, content optimization, and so on. You can create those skills, and every team member can use it again and again. And it also offers certain templates for competition analysis, for optimization, for some building some landing pages. It's also offered to help people who are new and need some help. It all offers some templates to you to get started and use those templates and then customize to your requirement. So these are the basic, some tools are available which can be leveraged. And as we said, not spending too much time, you have already seen it. It can literally talk to any of your internal or external tools. Right? There are plugins, there are connectors. Right? There are some built-in connectors. Some can be through third-party tools or some customization. It can be connected. So you can see literally GA4, Search Console, Gmail, Bright Edge tool, analytics tool, Excel sheets, your CMS system, your Ahrefs, your Hotjar to do your conversion analysis, right? Hotjars or a Microsoft Clay. Anything is possible. And that's what it make it unique, because now you're not doing the repetitive job. You are now telling really to look at this data and extract based on your instructions what you want, right? AI is not hallucinating and getting data from anywhere now, right? So that is very critical part of the whole exercise, right? As I said, from chatting with AI is working with AI, multi-step workflows, read and writes, connect, schedule, skills. Yeah, it's much more than just chatting. It does much more complex workflows, much more smarter to go into various systems, extract the data, and much more intelligent to get far more better insights, right? And very unique to you. That's the important part here, which is unique, which is not repetitive. Once you do all these connections, all these systems, even once you integrate with it, right? And it is a smart teammate for every marketing role and different stages of marketing. Everywhere you can see that at different levels, at whatever the role you are playing, you can use it, right? Because it can connect to any system. So whichever system you are using, at whichever level, whichever role, whatever stage you are, it is very, very beneficial, right? Head of marketing, basically they need for QBR decks, right? Or executive reporting every month or weekly basis, they need to generate. And that's where we struggle. We are dependent on so many team members, so many tools. And I mean, seriously, when we try to run it, it's a mammoth exercise every month. Create a monthly report, and QBR decks becomes far more bigger kind of exercise. But now, last time we showed in the last session, how within 5-10 minutes you can generate a QBR deck, right? You can use all your client, just ask it to read all your client meetings over the last 3 months. Go and look at some of your dashboards which you have created over the last 3 months. Look at some of your competition data through Ahrefs or SCM Flash. So it just look at all that and you get your report ready based on what is output you want. Define the output and it will manipulate, it will articulate the data and present it. Right? And that same applies to every role. Yeah, right? It's a very, very powerful tool in the hands of marketing team, right? Okay, let's take another poll coming up here. As you know, in the beginning also I asked this question: what quietly eat your teams or your time? Let's go and take this poll. Let's. All right. Yeah, there's a poll too. How much your weeks that we have done? Sorry. What quietly eats your team's week or your time? Great. Yeah, that's very much building reports and decks. Yes, everybody wants. You have different stakeholders. Everybody keep asking, I need this, I need that, right? And you just keep rushing. You want to work or you want to continuously keep building decks and reports, right? That's a challenge, right? Content gap. Yeah, briefs, and that's a major task. And every time we do struggle, right? This is in fact good point. Oh, somebody's asking where is the poll? It's here. Here you can press on this one. Can you see that, Suraj? Yeah. When you press this and come here, that's where the poll is. Right? Content gap, absolutely, right? And yeah, and continuously juggling with the tools, your analytics, your search console, your HF, continuously keep extracting data from them. Right? That's where our most of the time goes. We keep struggling. That is very much simplified now. Very, very simplified thing. Right? That's what we'll see also in the demos. Right? So great. Thank you for taking this poll. Let's come back. Now, as I said, the framework, agent building framework is very important, right? Different people can use AI in a different way. Now, that's where the question comes, how smartly you use your AI so that it delivers the output which guarantees results. End of the day, we all want results. Your client wants results, right? While you use AI or don't use AI, your client don't care, right? They want speed, they want quality, right? That's the most critical part. It has been and it will be. But because of AI, everybody expects speed. There's no compromise on quality. There's no compromise on deliverables. We cannot say because of AI, right? In fact, we should be far more efficient. And that's where the problems happen. Because we only look at the speed part, we forget there is a quality, some expertise is needed to validate the AI output. If you don't do that, as I said, it is very repetitive. It is not what you are expecting to deliver results. So that is why we said we have built a framework. Whenever you build agents, take some time to understand the process and build a framework. So what does it do? You define, I'll show you one file later on here, but this is just tell you there should be a input, right? First of all, you should know what do you want. Output, based on that, what inputs we should provide, what process any AI tool should run to give you this structure out. That should be documented, defined thoroughly. I'll show you. It's a very, very detailed process which we go through for every agent and every process we build or automate to make sure it's a quality output, right? And then there should be, as any other process, there should be feedback loop, right? When people run continuously, oh, there's a problem. So we keep feeding the tool back to continuous improvement and keep applying the guardrails. Very important. AI can go haywire. If you leave it alone, it can go haywire. It can hallucinate, it can go anywhere. So applying those proper guardrails, and that is driven from here. So that is where human expertise comes into picture. Do you understand what output do you want? What we call it, what does goods look like? Do you understand that? If that understanding is not clear, the whole process will go for a toss. I know this is the output I expect. Unless I get that, my process is not done. There is some flaw in my process unless I get this output what I want. That clarity is needed, and that's where we need some human expertise. That's what I said. AI cannot do that. If you allow AI to do that, as I said, this is not the best way. It is very repetitive. It's not the most efficient output you should get. You, as a marketer, should know based on your client. You know what you want. AI doesn't understand that. There are a lot of nitty-gritties are there which you have understood from client, from the market you operate in. Which again, AI has no context. So you need to provide that context, and that is where this understanding of this is very important, and this drives then the whole thing. Right? Very, very important part here. All right. So let's look at our first demo, quality prompt generation. Right. So what I'm going to do is, there is an MD file link here. You can see that it's a reusable file skill what we have created. So what I'll do, I'll go up there and run it. It'll take some time. In the meantime, we'll come back and see the framework. So let's run this. We'll run it. We'll go to Claude Cowork. Right. So I'll say, I want to generate prompts and use the attached MD file or a skill file, whatever you call it, MD file to build it. That's all. See, it has all questions, inputs, all built into the MD file. So you don't have to worry. You say just, I want to build and attach this MD file. Let's attach that MD file, the skill what we have created. Right? Yeah. Now, it will ask few questions here. We just answer first basic questions so that it has the context. What do you want? Right? And rest is driven by the process and the output, what we have given in the MD file or skill file. Right? So it is processing it. Yeah. So it is just trying to understand the MD file, what we have given. There is a process 7 task methodology. Run the audit, generate prompts, just generate new prompts, package this. See, just generate new prompts, it can also do a AI generated prompts. No, we want to, yeah. Which client category you are auditing? Okay, I'll type it. What should the keyword? We'll say use. See, if you have the tools connected, all that, you can say use the tools, right? And otherwise you can upload some files also. So there is a provision given here, how to make it better. Okay? So we have to now give a little bit of data here. Yeah, so it is asking a few questions here to us. So it is asking brand name and website. So maybe I'll use the same thing right now. This is one of our clients as well. So I'll say this is the brand name. Then category audit, which one you want, a category or a service. So in this, we'll say remote support is my category. This is the one of the client provide SaaS solution around remote access and remote support. Target ICP, we'll say IT leaders. Competitors, yeah, it also look at your competitors. So we'll just write 1 or 2 competitors. Okay. So if you have connected any tool which has already generated AI, no tool right now connected here, that's fine. Existing track prompt, should I pull this from conductor tool? Not applicable because we are not connecting the tool. But if you have any tool, AI, this LLM tool, there are various tools in the market. Conductor is one, Profound is one, AI Ops is one. So there are multiple tools are available for tracking the LLM, the citation, the visibility, and so on. So if they are available, you can connect and use them. What we do that we use them for extracting what these tools are suggesting, and then see the improvement this framework can bring or the skill can bring, right? So we have given some details now. So let it run now. It will run and generate prompts. While it does that, let's go back. And so let me go back now and show you. Yeah, not this file. Yeah. So see, this is the framework: input, process, output. That clarity has to be there. So based on this, it has asked some inputs, because we have asked brand, all that we have asked category, all that we have given as a part of the process. We have given the tool to ask these questions, right? So it will automatically ask few questions which it needs to process your query, right? And that whole process is defined here. So it's a 88-step process which we have defined. It has guardrails, it has various instructions, how to pull, where to pull. That is very critical. You can just run simple prompt and say, give me, prompts. I want to generate some prompts around this category. I'll show you how vague it is. But when you now, it will go through this process, rigorous process. It will go through the framework. It will go through. And then what output do I want? Clearly defined here. What is my output? Right? It will generate based on this output structure. It will generate the output file for us. And then we can validate. So this, as I was telling, for every process, every agents we are building, this framework is very, very important. If this is done correctly, and then you have built a component which everybody can use. I mean, we did it. We took almost 6 to 8 weeks to build this. And then when we present to clients, because it's such a data-driven approach, everybody loved it. And we showed them how various tools have generated prompts and what prompts are generated by this framework. They really loved it. All my clients, we have changed the prompts now, because earlier tools had some AI-generated prompts. You see, when you use AI-generated prompts and it tells you your visibility is 80%, that's garbage in, garbage out. Those prompts are not right, which is relevant to your business. And you are measuring yourself against those prompts. Are you really measuring? It's like keywords, right? What are the keywords or search phrases? What people are searching and then come, right? It's like same thing. If keywords are not right, you're not getting the right audience on your website, right? People should type like remote support solution. If people type that and come to my website, they are the right audience, right? But if people write some vague queries and the keywords are not right, then I'm not getting the right. I don't have any reason to be excited about the traffic. Same with prompts. If your prompts are wrong and you say my visibility in LLM based on those prompts is 100%, you are tracking the wrong metrics. Those are not the right people who are writing those prompts, and your audience will never write such kind of prompts, right? That's the big gap there. So we'll see that. Now let's see where we have reached here. Yeah, it will ask you for some approvals. Yeah, let it run. Now, while it is running, so as I said, for every process, let's make sure this is built carefully. Right? And you define the output, scope, and all that, right? See, it's very important here what we have done in this prompt, if you look at it, to make sure that prompts have a wider coverage across funnel stages and across various segments, right? So our prompts are, some are around USP of the client, some are around brand, some are around key features, some are around the services provided, some are various industries being served, some are persona based, who are your target audience. So this makes sure you have a very wide coverage of the prompts. You're not just restricting to certain areas specifically. It's a very, very data-driven approach, right? So what happens when you run this kind of prompt? Now we'll come to this slide later. Just see first this one. So we have just taken AI. What is generic? When you say AI to generate, AI, we have taken one example on here. I've taken an example on OT security, is one of the cybersecurity terms. If you ask AI to run and return the prompts, see what it will give you. Very definitional, very, very top of the funnel, no buyer intent, no brand, right? So if you are happy, this is good, we are appearing everywhere, but this doesn't give you any benefit. See here now, come here. See, as I said, these are the various segments or categories we generate, we make sure every segment gets some prompts, right? See, brand. Is vendor, is your company a good fit for security or network in manufacturing? Feature, which OT platform does agentless asset discovery? Industry, best OT security solution for water and energy utility, industry based. Persona, what should a plant OT manager check before picking an ISC vendor? So widespread across different categories, very meaningful prompts. If somebody is searching, means they are the real buyers, they are the real target audience. If they are searching this kind, if you are putting these kind of queries and you are appearing them, very important. So you need to optimize for these prompts, not these. But generally what we'll do, we'll run through prompt or some AI tools and we'll keep looking at these ones. And we try to keep optimizing for these ones. But these are not going to give you the real benefit or the audience or the the conversions you're looking at on your site, right? So while let's check if report has already run. Otherwise, I'll show you one more which I have now. While this is running, let me show you which we ran this morning actually. Yeah, this one. See, I ran this in the morning for one of our client 40net for quantum security. Same process was followed. So this is what it has generated now. So it has, let's say, category or segment. You can see that all categories are covered here. Brand, feature, services, industries, personas, problem statement, then funnel stage. Very important. Again, we want to make sure we have coverage around tofu, mofu, top of the funnel, middle, bottom. And then it gives you a prompt. Right? Also, we try to, as much as possible, we try to justify also, are these prompts really anybody is looking for this? Because it should not happen, I generate a prompt and nobody's looking for it. So we try to look at some of the 8 keywords from AHF refs which are aligned with these prompts. Some of the GSC queries which are aligned with these prompts. Some of the product mappings along with the prompt. So and are there any impressions? Are there any MSVs for these phrases? So it is just to make sure that we also have a data-driven approach, and these are not very vague prompts which nobody is looking at. Right? You can generate a list of prompts, nobody looks at it. But this gives us some confidence. I'm not saying 100%. Some confidence it gives you. If there is some demand or somebody is looking for, may type such prompts. Right? Otherwise, there's no way to check. You can write any prompt. Who types it? There's no way to check that. Anybody types it? There's no tool today. Unfortunately, there's no tool today. Like keywords you can map, right? In HRF, SEMrush, you can check how many which keywords is giving you more clicks, more engagement, and all that. But here, prompt-wise, we don't have today data, right? So you need to have some logical way to make sure that your prompts are of high quality, right? So this is what it will generate. When I'll show you, this is what it will generate the output. And now you can take these prompts, update on your tools, and examine where do you stand on these prompts now, not AI generated tools or prompts. That is the real test here. Are you appearing now? Your brand is appearing for all these prompts, because these are the real, very close to reality, right? So that's the challenge here. Now let's go back and see if it has already generated. I'm still working on that. So yeah, it takes a little while. Now let's go back and see. So we have covered. Yeah, this slide I wanted to show you that, right? So once you build that prompt framework and apply those real prompts, right? Right? As we said, AI returns definition based, broad term, no funnel intent, right? Intent led prompt map to 6 buyer buckets, which we told you buyer buckets are persona based, industry based, problem based, feature based, USP based, and so on. So we have created some buckets there which are really aligned with your target audience, right? And then now when you go back and run this and see your visibility, That's the real test for you. And that will give you the real results in the long term. All right. So let me check if it has run. Otherwise, we'll move to the next one in the meantime. Yeah, still doing that. So we'll come back to this. So I've shown you the output. So we'll just take this demo. While it is running, similar kind of output will come, which I showed you. Let's take this question. It will take a few minutes. It is still running, not days. What do you do with the time back? Now these tools are giving you some time in your hand, right? So it's just a question. How will you utilize this time now? So let's go back and take this another question coming up here. Yeah. So let's take that. So this whole prompt process, if you do manually, it can take weeks and all. Now it is done for you in a couple of minutes. So how will you spend your time, which it has given you now? Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah, less grunt work. We all spend too much time on doing this grunt work day in and out, which we don't feel that is really adding a lot of value, right? Which is very repetitive sometime, and can be done by the tools, right? So yes, very important. And then scale up. Yes, absolutely. Now you have time to scale up with the same team, and you can take more clients now. Absolutely, right? So it gives you a lot of power in your hand to do more with the same given efforts and the same team, right? Do much more work, right? Great, thanks. That is good to understand, right? All right. Now let's go to the next one. Yeah. So next, our tool is content coverage analysis. This is another very important topic every marketing person or team will have to do continuously, and this you've been continuously asked, right? Right? Have we covered how much are we covered against this topic? Do we have any answer? Anybody? I don't think so. We have a right answer. If somebody asks you, if your client asks you, let's say, against a specific X category, what is my content coverage? I don't think so there is a straight answer to that. It's a very complex, loaded question. But client won't answer for that. Correct? Client would expect answer. Tell me how against the competition, or in general, how will you measure, how will you benchmark, what is my content coverage? It's a very, very, if you ask me, basic fundamental question, every SEO guy or every marketing guy, but it's very complex. It's a very loaded question, right? And it can take weeks together to do that analysis, right? But here we have again generated a skill here. Teams have worked a couple of weeks to generate that framework. And see, I'll show you here. See the output here, which is generated now once you run that. Yeah. So if you see that, so we ran for content coverage analysis for a client on the category called patch management. It just took 10-15 minutes to run that. So it went to the website. It said total URLs covered there are 71 URL around this category, right? Now it said 10 of 10 subcategories are covered. So we have defined certain subcategories in the process, that how much coverage you have around that, right? It's not just to have a lot of URLs and this, but how much is the coverage, right? We'll show you those categories later. This is a summary table. And then very important to understand, how's your distribution of the content, right? You have content, a lot of content there, looks like 71 pages are there, right? Tofu content is 44%, MoFu is 20%, BoFu is 17%, LLM is 20%. So that's how your coverage, that's how you are distributed across the funnel. Now, whether it's right or wrong, we'll check that. This is first level to say how is your content split, right? Competition coverage, positioning, competition, I think has around 49% kind of coverage. That's what it's saying, right? Now, so it gives you a summary here. What are the risks, key high risks? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? So it just give you overall summary here. Then it tells you funnel distribution. You have, total we said 71 pages, how they are distributed across the funnel. And we said target is this. We want to achieve, generally in any organization, TOFU is higher. There should be good MoFu content. BoFu is slightly lesser, and LLM. So we said this is the ideal split. Now, where are you against that? Right? That doesn't mean you are doing good here, right? So we map it against that and say where you are doing good and where there is a gap against this, right? And this is your existing inventory. You want to check it whether how the tool has done. It tells you, there are 71 URLs, MoFu, BoFu, all that inventory is given here of all the URLs around that category and how, right? They are split against LLMs. What do you have and all that, right? Now, the very important part, that's where our proprietary nature experience comes into picture. How do you assess that you have, when you did the gap analysis, you have covered everything. So we have given a very logic here. What are the various categories around patch management where you need to have the content? It's good to have TOFU, MoFu, BoFu, all that. But what are the subcategories around that main category where you need to have content, which is very critical? So we said core patch management concept, specific patching, patch Tuesday, automation and real time, vulnerability, best practices, yes, blah, blah. You need to have content around these. Do you have it? That will make sure your coverage is great. This is very, very critical part, which is very proprietary. Again, no AI tool can do themselves unless you have a knowledge and you build this great process and to tell how to identify subcategories for a specific category. Right? So this does a lot of research work and then tells you how are you placed in TOFU, BoFu, BoFu against these subcategories, and how, which is important and what actions need to be done. Right? It tells you then competition also against each subcategory, how competition is doing, who is dominating, and where is the problem. Your coverage is 20%, whereas Ninja One is leading here. Or against this category you are 55%. You're amber, you're not red, but leading one is Manage Engine and Ivanti, and so on. Right? So your coverage given this side. Here you are the leader, automated and real-time patching. Right? You have good coverage. You're not leading, you have 80% coverage, but still leader is this one. So it tells you who in the competition is leading in that space and what is your coverage and where is the gap. Right? And then it gives you recommendations, starting with BoFu. What do you need to do based on the gaps which have been identified above, right? It gives you all the gaps and also prioritize for you. Right? Some need to be optimized, mostly telling new content to be built. Looks like there are a lot of gaps, but some can be optimized also. Optimize. Very powerful tool, very powerful skill. Client loved it when we showed to the clients. This is very data driven and answers most of the questions which client or you may have. As I said, how will you quantify this? How much coverage? Now I'm giving you data, a lot of data I'm giving you here. And what we are doing here is this category. We are also making sure coverage around that is really good. It's not just generally we are talking that you have TOFU, MoFu, BoFu content, you are good. No. Even you have a lot of content, you have some coverage, but there is a gaps still. Right? Very powerful report to just run in few minutes and every team member can use. And these are the kind of things you can use to delight your clients. Delight client is one part. you can get such great insights within minutes and start working on it and really dominate the space. Now I can, work on these gaps, and within 1 or 2 months, when I work on this patch management, we have done that, and we dominate that category. Whether it's LLM, whether it's Google, everywhere, right? So very, very powerful tool here. Now let's look at what's happening to our. Right. Okay, it's ready now. Well, let's open it. This is the prompt what we ran for remote support. Support is ready now. Let's look at this. Right. So final set is here. Yeah. All right. So this is what I showed you for the other one. This is what we ran around remote support. Again, similar format, HF keywords, GSC, all that it has done. Similar way, exactly similar way, funnel stages, categories, prompts, and some validations are done here. Right? Some keywords, some GSC impression, wherever it's applicable, keywords, all that. Where the product mapping, we also map to the product, where it should relate to some of the products, whichever we do. Right? So now this data ensures us we have a good coverage around various categories across the funnels, and we have some basic way to validate that there is some demand in the market and somebody will look for it. Now, if you rank if you are cited or you're mentioned for these prompts, these are the real ones. It means some real audience are looking for it. So what we do is now we go back and feed these prompts into the tools, not AI generated prompts. And then start measuring ourselves, where is the gap in terms of citations, in terms of mentions, in terms of visibility percentages, in terms of our average positioning, and so on. Right? We measure it and then take analysis, where is the gap? Because as you know, LLMs have own media, earned media, social, all that is there. So you understand. And like you do your own page analysis, keyword analysis, similar kind of analysis is run, but more, it has a different method. But you do similar kind of analysis and then find the gaps and do that. Right? So this is the content coverage analysis. Very, very powerful. This is what one thing our client have really loved it. And we are using very, very extensively now. Okay, another question now coming up to your understanding around the demo, what we saw, content coverage analysis. So let's go back and take a poll, take a question there. Yeah, this is the question coming up here. A competitor is winning Bofu topics you don't cover. Why does that beat a raw keyword list? Yeah, I think here quite an obvious answer. Absolutely, because the Bofu we said, and we said revenue. So I think it's bottom funnel. All right. Somebody has also said lowers your ad spend. Maybe, yeah. Possibly, because now maybe you can have better coverage and you can build content which can appear organically and you don't have to spend too much on ads. Yeah, possibly. Yes, absolutely. It can help that way as well. To some extent, yeah. All right. Good, thanks. Let's come back. So yeah, I think process is same. I've not run it, but same. Again, MD file, you just go give the topic. I ran in this morning. That's why I showed you the report. Just ran it, few minutes it takes, and it generates this report. So it'll ask you a few inputs again, which is the website, which is the audience, which is the category. It asks you a few basic questions to understand, and then run the MD file or a skill, and then generates that. Right. All right. Now let's move to our third demo, which is meeting notes content pipeline. Now, very powerful. How can you use this Claude Cowork as your smart assistant also? You can say that as a teammate, as an assistant, you can, it can keep changing the roles the way you want it to operate, right? So very innovative kind of use cases you can find. So one use cases we have find, we have our team meetings, client meetings. We just keep sending mails and we forget after some time. There is a tons of data, gold mine of data, gold mine of insights, gold mine of information sometime hidden on those meetings, the discussions. So we said, why don't we look at those meeting notes the last 3 months, 6 months, and say, are there any new topic ideas which we can help, which we have ignored, which we may have taken some time very casually in the meeting and forgotten about it, right? So what we do is, do we have an MD file for this, or shall I just run without MD file? Okay, let me first try running without MD file. So I'll say, refer my mail from my Gmail and identify mails from client Fortinet, the weekly meetings on every, let's say, Tuesday and Thursday for the last 3. I'll take less time because that will take a little time. The last 1 month, and get me the insights on any innovative content topics, ideas which are not covered on the website. Second, what does client like about the sessions and our perspective? And what needs improvement from client perspective? Just you can run anything you want, right? So we have generated a skill also, but yeah, I said just go and run it and give me some output here. So now I'm turning my client meetings into powerful tool to get insight into something which for the continuous improvement, whether how my client meetings are going, are they happy? I mean, we'll get some idea. Is the client really appreciative of what we are presenting? So it will look at some terms which client use, which we may ignore sometimes, right? What they talk, how they give feedback, and so that, right? So, and again, some ideas, because we keep discussing a lot of brainstorming sometime in the sessions, and we may miss sometimes some new ideas comes up, and we ignore it or we miss it. So let's see if we have missed, right? So let it run. It'll go to the, so it's very hands-free again. You can run it through mobile also, right? So it has identified 9 meetings from this date to this date last 1 month, and it runs every Tuesday, Thursday. This is the, see, I didn't say anything. It has already identified. Of course, your meeting has to be recorded. That's very important, that every time you run a meeting, it has to be recorded. And then you should get the notes of the meeting. That's very important part here. One, right? So why? Yeah. So let it run right now, and we go back. Now, let's take this in the meantime. Let's take this survey while the report is running. Let's go back. Right. You don't touch Cowork for a month. What still lands in your inbox? Actually, it is associated with is what we are doing right now. So, right. So it is more associated with that. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So you can schedule it, right? Every month I can say, please keep studying last 4 weeks of my client meetings, and keep on every Monday of, first Monday of every month, last 4 weeks data, you give it to me. So you can schedule it also, right? So every Friday or every week or whatever time you need, you can get those insights, right? Same way you can use your team's meeting also. It's not just client meeting, your client team meetings, your demos to the prospects. You can analyze those very carefully. What went right? What was the prospect response? Where the improvement is needed? So you can sometime all your demos which you give to your prospects and all, sometimes, right? How's the quality of that? Where do you need the improvement? Right? So very powerful tool. Can give you a lot of insights here. So thanks for sharing that. Now just want to go back and see. Okay, so what it has done is it has just put it here. The analysis is done. So, but what it has done, it has just put it here. So we'll just ask us to do it. You can ask it. The whole advantage here is you can ask it to give a doc file, PPT, Excel, whatever, PDF, whatever you need. It can generate that. It'll just put the content there, right, and give it to you. So, well, again, it is running. We'll show you that. I think there's another survey we have. Let's take that in the meantime. Monday morning, what's the first thing now that you have learned some of it, right? What are you going to do first thing when you go back Monday? Let's go back and what's on your mind, top of your mind? After learning this now, that what is the art of what is a feasible here, what all you can do, what will you do? Great. Yeah. Yeah, please, everybody participate. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, various things you can do. While we have listed few here, I mean, you can do a lot of things based on your scope of work, your deliverables. You can literally do a lot of things here, a lot of things, right? So coming back again, thanks for that. Has it generated the report now? So I will ask one question. Now we have run 3 demos. So I would want everybody to write down. We will give you one free here. So we'll see which one you want. Can we write down here? Which one do you need? Which one would you prefer? If you have to take one of these skill file, if you have to share with you, which one would you prefer? And while we are doing that, we request you to also share your feedback with us. There is a, Patrick, can you put that in the chat?
Yeah.
This one and maybe you don't have Trustpilot here, right?
It is the last slide. In the last slide bottom, we have the Trustpilot as well.
Yeah, put these two there. So we request you to give us feedback. It really helps us to, cover the topics you want to us to have in the next sessions, and also provide some feedback how we can continuously improve it, what more we can do here. And of course also helps us Trustpilot. When you give us some ratings, it helps us as a brand definitely better positioning, and we appreciate that your support. If you like it, of course, if you like it, please do that, help us with that. So put both the links, and right, and will anybody give us on both the things? I know it's of course everybody should get one. We'll see what everybody wants, and then people giving us some feedback on trust. We will see on bonus skill we can also provide, because you have taken your time and effort to give us the feedback. So we'll definitely do that. So please do that while we are almost reaching the end of the session. See, it has generated. We can quickly look at it now. It has taken last 1 month meeting notes, 9 meetings, because twice a week, right? And see, this is the content ideas it has given. Agentic AI, cybersecurity, quantum security, AI gateway, AI security explorer, all that, right? LLM optimized page templates, something like that. So it has taken from those meeting notes what was discussed and carve out something which we may have missed. So you get some ideas. I'm running 100%, it is perfect, but you get now good ideas here. And you can take it forward, analyze it, and see what makes sense, right? Why it matters from the session. So it has given you reference also from where it picked up, right? And so on, right? So this is one, right? And it gives you some idea also. What need improvement, what they value, where you need improvement. So I'm not going to detail. This is something proprietary in nature, and recommendation. So it gives you very powerful now tools where client is liking your work, where do you need some improvements. Continuously you can improve, right? It's just 1 month data. Imagine if I have 3 months, 6 months data, and I analyze it, it gives me a lot of insights, right? And some content ideas, right? Very, very powerful tool, again, to give you insights which you sometimes don't, you don't have time to think about, don't have time to analyze it quickly on your hand, because our whole purpose is to continuously delight client. Now, this is the power information which was earlier missing, or we used to take weeks together to do, in your hand, in minutes, hours, not days and weeks. And you can continuously keep improving, keep delighting your clients, right? Keep improvising using this. But as I said, proper framework is very important. While AI is very powerful, but if you leave it alone, it can go haywire. That's very, very important, right? All right. So I hope everybody has given the feedback form filled, and also given us some ratings on Trustpilot, the way you feel about this whole session, the topic, the coverage, about the speaker and the content covered and all that. Please help us to improve that, right? And yeah, and let's start building it. If you need any further help, you are free. Go to our site, book a 30-minute call. We can definitely talk. We run these sessions for the businesses, very customized for the businesses. So we go to the companies for their specific team, for the specific use cases. We go and run these sessions for them. Well, this is more general session. We can very much customized for your organization, for your team. We can do that. So happy to do that. Anything needed further, please feel free on our website. You can reach us anytime, and we will be happy to help. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for joining the session today. And we continuously running it. So our plan is to run every 3 weeks, come out with different use cases, different scenarios, right? Different insights. So please looking at our website for more and more the next date, and you can register it there. Now, before I close, any questions? We can take questions if there are any questions anyone has before we close.
Actually, yeah, there is one question that Swaraj has mentioned in the chat box.
Mm-hmm.
He has asked a question that how to make a skill file.
How to make a
Skill file.
skills file? Yeah. So I showed you that Excel sheet, right? You can create a Word doc. First of all, create a framework, right? As I said, how the way you want it. We showed you input, output, and process, all that. You can make it in the Word, PDF, wherever you want. You need to create some structure. And then say, just go to Claude itself, or say convert it into MD file or a skill file. It will convert that. So as simple as that. So take that PDF, Word file, or Excel and give it to the feed it to the Claude or any tool and say convert it into MD file. It will generate an MD file. Now that file becomes your reusable asset or component, which now teams can use it. Every team can take that file, okay, use this MD file and do this analysis. Is it clear, Suraj? Are you okay with that? Suraj is there? Okay, we move on. I think this, yeah, so this is the way you can do that. Okay. Any other question?
No, Ajay, not on chat box. If somebody has any question, they can ask. Yes, there's one more question that just came in. It's from Dilip.
Mm-hmm.
He has asked how to make Claude have less tokens. Okay, how to make Claude take less tokens.
Okay, I mean, that runs based on the queries and insights you get. You cannot make Claude to do less tokens, right? It will consume based on your query, based on how complex it is. So, I mean, that's the whole idea of, company making money also, right? So you'll have to consume tokens there and based on your query and all that. So there's no control on that. We cannot control tokens and all that, right? More complex query, more systems you want to integrate, fetch data, it is going to consume more token, more larger time it runs and all that, it's going to consume. So there's no way you can, over a period of time, maybe you have to see how to optimize it once you use it quite often. So you'll have to see how to cut down some of the, your queries and all that and make them more optimized. But sometimes the way we ask also, we, make the system run for a long time. So, but yeah, it will consume tokens based on the query size, complexity, and all that. Yep.
Maybe a question on the return on investment, Ajay. Since the cost of these tokens and the cost of these tools are clearly new and there are no caps to how much you can spend, how do you show return on investment to clients?
I think so. When you say tools, see, one is the these AI tools, Claude, and which cost you now this Claude Cowork and all. The pro version can cost you $100, $200, right? That is a one cost. Other costs are your, if you want talking about the other, because as a CEO, Geo team, you have other cost tools also, Ahrefs, SCMrush, maybe Profound, maybe some conversion tools like Hotjar or Clay, and multiple tools are there. Now, I think if you really want to deliver value to the client today, you'll have to invest in these tools. The value, what we see as an investment is today, once you use them effectively, it increase every team member or every person you have at least 2x or 3x minimum. If your team is trained well and knows how to effectively use these tools, at least 2x or 3x. So there is a huge productivity gain. Now you want to scale up, if you want to improve the speed, right? And hiring is a problem for you, training people, all that. You have to look at all the cost, hiring new people leaving, hiring them, retraining them. It's a huge burden all the time, right? And if somebody leaves, I'm not really worried. If you ask me, if somebody leaves the organization, I'm telling, it was a big worry. We have to stop the work. It's not a worry. It's very systematic, process oriented. So that's a one big benefit. So you'll have to look at it in totality. That's one. Other is client delight. The kinds of insights that is cannot be put in money sometime, but the kind of insights you get in, which manually it is very daunting tasks, could take weeks and all that. How much resources you waste on those? And do you still get smart analysis and insights? So how you have to retain clients, right? You have to continuously delight them. And that becomes a challenge for team because team is continuously busy in tasks. So who will think about value added things, showing more insights, doing something extra work? Now that's possible today. That's possible with these tools and all that, right? So I see these investments are very minimal as compared to the benefit what we see. You'll have to spend maybe $500. I think that's what we see the investment to start with in all these tools. If I look at basic at least $400 you'd spend, but that's worth it.
Yeah,
really worth it when I look at the benefits. But as I said, invest smartly and sensibly. You need to have some human on the top of it. These tools need some expertise on top of it. That's what we showed as a framework. You have to build a framework first for the agents, right? Hope this answers your question, Karan.
Yes, I still struggle, Ajay, to see the IP that will stay with the human end here, which is to say, you said input, process, output. I mean, we come from the Six Sigma world, so fully understand that definition. Now,
Right.
we never felt threatened by Six Sigma. But now this, to some extent, a black box, not a critique, but this black box is consuming a lot of IP, lot of intelligence.
Yes, it is.
From you, me, and our teams.
Correct.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it is mechanizing it in a very speedy way.
Absolutely.
So what will be the IP left in marketing with this group here? That's the question that I still struggle with.
See, as we said, will these tools eventually replace human beings? I don't see near future, right? No. Yes, the usage may become from 40% to 50%, 60%, 70%, go on increasing. As we go, it will keep becoming mature, keep learning and all that, right? So now everybody can use Claude Cowork, but as we said, everybody has knowledge, but how do you apply it? Application. Now, on top of it, what experience you have applied, what expertise you have applied to train the tool or give your specific inputs to control your output, that still remain with the human expertise, right? That will not go away so easily. I don't see that will go away. Tools will mature to such an extent shortly, right? So that is one. So you need to help, like, IPs, you can generate every company can generate their own, skills and all that, which their teams can use it. So that's your IP, right? That becomes your IP end of the day, right? How do you generate those? That's your skill, your expertise and all that. And how your teams can repetitively use it, those skills to automate and all that, right? So yeah, that's the evolving process, right? How these tools are going to further evolve and where human interventions are needed. Yeah. All right. Okay, any other questions? How much can we charge clients? This question is not clear. Charge for what? Or your services for these tools, or what exactly is your question? Not clear about the question.
For the services.
So that depends. See, the services depends. What services? You say ocean, right? When you say SEO, Geo, you are providing content, you are providing end-to-end services, you are providing backlinks, right? Are you providing technical SEO? What services? So I think that's a very broad question to ask, right? What services are you providing to the client, right? Difficult to say cost. So cost all depend on what services, how many people are put, what tools we are using for that. You have to really estimate that. Once you have more details, we can discuss separately of that. If you want some more inputs, please discuss separately, because we need more details before we say, how much can you charge for any specific tool or a service, or based on the outcomes, right? Yeah. So that's a bit of open question, which require a little more details.
Ajay, I think maybe I can phrase that question as well with a dilemma I face on how much do you charge, right? I mean, majority of us bill by the hour or bill by the day or bill by the month, right? So if you get a paycheck every month, you get a paycheck every month. So does this model change in how we price value? I know a very small elite have been pricing value for a long time, but is there going to be a democratization of pricing value doing this? Maybe that's a pricing question that is.
See, we have to, we have to be a little careful. This democratizing, right? That's very, very, moment you start democratizing, you lose, So you have to also see, using these tools, what value can you bring to the client? More value you show, more you can charge, right? You say, I can do content gap analysis for you. It's not a question whether I can do in 5 or 10 minutes. The brain power which has gone behind it, the value you are generating, right? That is more important. Yeah. Right? It looks very easy when I show you that content coverage report. We have spent 8 to 10 weeks, 3 people sitting on that, and it requires continuous improvement, right? It doesn't mean that I have generated once it is done. Now, question is, do my client or prospect see value in it? That is a question to ask here. Whether you put number of hours or you say based on the business out. There are two models, right? We say whether you charge on the business outcome or you charge on the effort basis. Okay, this team is there, a number of hours per hour, blah blah blah. You can do that, right? We prefer normally with our client business outcomes, right? We work business outcomes. You tell us what is your goal, and we will tell you what business outcomes we will, will create higher business outcomes for you, and we'll charge for that. Now, client see the business value is a 5K, 10K. Now that depends again. What is the value client attached to that? That is between, again, case to case basis. You'll have to look at it. What is the value given?
Has AI fundamentally changed that outcome based pricing for you already?
As I said, no. No, we still charge the same. The only benefit I get is now I can handle 4 clients. Earlier, I used to handle 1 client. Now with the same team, I'm able to handle 5 clients. But my value is not going to change. In fact, I'm going to improve my value proposition every time using this, because I now have a smart teammate or assistant given to me, which was not there earlier. I'm going to show more value, and I can scale up much faster. That's how I see it. Right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's how we see it. All right. Okay, great. Good question. I know still this area is evolving. I don't think so. You have still confusion. Questions will still remain. I see that. We have to keep practicing it, keep using it, and then see which direction market is going. But yeah, okay, great. Any other question? Last question before we close. No, we're good. All right. All right, then you're free to come back to us. You have our email IDs. Any questions, any thoughts you want to discuss further, please feel free to get in touch. And as I said, we keep running these sessions, keep running these webinars, and keep looking at the website leadwalnut.com, where you can go and register it. You will find the page where you can go and register. So thank you so much for joining and taking time to do this answer to those poll surveys. It definitely helps us, and please make sure to give us feedback on Trustpilot. It really helps us, right? and we will send you a skill. As we said, team will send you one skill, definitely share with you post this session on Monday, and we hope to see you in the next session then. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajay.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.